Alright, what is going on YouTube? We're back again with another deck profile video here for you on the channel. Uh, please don't mind the Master Magia being in Japanese. It was literally the cheapest version that I could buy just for the deck profile. I haven't found any ones in English that are way under $800 or almost $1,000. But of course, as long as you're not going to like a YCS or like a regionals, I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna have a problem at locals as long as you know what the effect is. Um, but I just wanted to just throw this together real quick, just so you can see how you can actually build a Dragon Master Magia deck here for you on the channel. Sorry, excuse me. There we go. And so yeah. So we're going to hop right into it. I'm not going to waste any time, and I'll try to keep this video under 30 minutes if I can. Alright, so first up for the monster lineup is going to be 3 of the Maiden. Of course, this is before the new support, Blue Eye support that we're getting, would actually make this deck run even more sufficiently than it already does. Nothing really major, just Maiden, just for target effect off of fill spell that you have with this deck. Yeah, I mean, other than that, usually it's pretty good for attack negation. You get a free monster. It's just a really good card, and I think people kind of underrate this card a lot just because it requires either to be targeted by a card effect or targeted for an attack. But I really don't see an issue with that. I just feel like that's fine. People feel like it's kind of slow, but that's your guys' opinion. I kind of feel like it's a really good card, to be honest. Still as good as it was when it first dropped to me. All right, next up is sorry, excuse me, guys. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. Standard, nothing really out of the ordinary with that. And yes, I did get the ODS copies. Not like these aren't actual ODS. These are from CT13. I don't know which exactly that is. I just ordered these online, but I just prefer the original artwork of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's just super nostalgic for me. And I know there's other copies where it's like if you want to go like anime style, there's like this one, and then there's like 2 other ones where like Kaiba actually uses in the anime. But I just like this artwork. It just looks the best to me for some reason. I don't know why. It just makes me feel like a kid again. You know what I mean? Okay. Next up is of course Chaos Max. You are going to need Chaos Max for this. It's one of those things where like I'm running it at 1 because I literally only have 1. I don't know where my other copies went. I can't really find them for some reason. I probably sold them or something. Probably like when Chaos Max kind of really became like a dead deck. But I did test it out with just the 1 in there, and really 1 is more than enough. The reason why you even would run 2 is just for consistency for the deck. And on top of that, if you actually want to run Chaos Form in here, you can. But it's not really necessary. You just run this just so you can get into Dragon Master Magia. And of course, with Dragon Master Magia, it just requires you 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate and a Chaos Monster. You can even do this with the Dark Magician, the Dark Magician Chaos Ritual Monster, or Magician of Black Chaos, or Blackluster Soldier. You can actually do Blackluster Soldier as well, if you want to. But this is just a dragon build for Dragon Master Magia, just pure Blue Eyes, pure dragon build. And really 1 is enough. 2 is fine as well. But I did test out with just the 1, and 1's really enough for the most part. Alright, next up, I do run 2 of the Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon, just for, Blue Eyes in hand, reveal, special summon. Just it's a free summon, and of course, I believe when it's on the field, yeah, when it's on the field or in the graveyard, it's treated as Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, like if you have like Dragon's Mirror, and you want to go for Blood's Ultimate that way for some reason, you can, as long as he's on the field or in your grave. So he's a free pop. The only downside is when he pops a card or a monster, shows a monster, you can't attack the turn to use the effect. That's the only downside. I pretty much feel like this is the GOAT of the deck, to be honest. This is your protection / bounce monster. It gets those problem cards that you just don't want on the field. Especially if you're facing up against a deck like U-Bells, where you're kind of, I believe it's your spell that forces you to attack, or maybe a trap. I can't remember which one is which. But I run this at 3 just for the simple fact, if I ever come up against U-Bells, I want to be able to have access to this as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, the effect is actually pretty badass, because it's literally when another card is destroyed. It doesn't even have to be Blue Eyes. It's when another card is destroyed, you can special summon this card from your hand, or if it's in your graveyard, you can special summon it from the graveyard. But you can only special summon 1 copy per effect activation. Like, you can't chain like more than 1 together. It's only 1 per effect activation, unfortunately. But I just did this for consistency, because I want to see this as much as possible. I did test at 3. It is phenomenal at 3. Yeah, I mean, nothing else to say. Like when you when this when a battle occurs with this monster, we could just bounce that monster, during a dime shift back to the hand. Helps get around, U-Bell, their fusion, problem cards that just basically just don't die when you attack into them, but it just does crazy effects to you. Like, it just burns you for damage, or halves your monster's attack, or something weird. But next up, I run the Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. This card is kind of like debatable. To me, it's perfect at 2. In some cases, there are some cases where I wanted to run it at 3. But it's okay at 2, because you can just you can literally special summon this off of your Waystone of Ancients, and since Waystone of Ancients activates during the end phase, when this hits the field, as long as you have the Blue Eyes White Dragon in your graveyard, you actually get 2 effects, guys, off of this card during your end phase. Now, the first effect activates when he's special summoned, and then his second activates during the end phase, just like Waystone of Legend. So when he hits the field off of a special summon, being special summoned, however you can, he literally searches a polymerization spell card from your deck to your hand, and then also during the end phase of the turn that he was special summoned, he actually adds a level 8 light, or I think it was light or dark monster. No, sorry, level 8 or higher dragon monster in your deck to your hand. So if you special summon him off of Waystone Legend, it literally can just get you into your Chaos Max right away, plus a polymerization card. So it kind of helps you set up. You know what I mean? So, and I'll show you guys what card I'm talking about that helps you get him into the graveyard. Or not him to the graveyard, but it helps you get your Wish of H's into the graveyard pretty quickly and sufficiently. Yeah, so I mean, it's not really too much to say other than that. Other than that, he does have a graveyard effect where if you banish him, all dragon type monsters you control gain 1,000, and that attack increase is actually permanent. It's not for the turn; it's permanent. So if you do it again, that's like. Of course, it's like if you do it a second time, it's like 2,000, on top of all your monsters, you know, kind of crazy. Phenomenal card. I actually like that card a lot. Alright, so next up is the tuners, 1-star tuners of the deck. Running 2 Flamevale Guard, standard, really. It gives you an extra shirt, so you can mill this. If say you don't want to mill your Blue Eyes, this is an option. You can mill this, and then also mill off your mill off this guy, or mill off Wasted Agents, which I also do run. So yeah, you can also mill Wasted Agents along with your Flaming Guard, just to get your extra mill in, just to get the extra mill. So off of what was it called? Freaking Dragon Shrine. But I do, yeah, Dragon Shrine. So I do run Dragon Shrine in the deck. Which is, to me, it's way better than Foolish Burial, specifically because it's for dragons, so you can't really abuse it too much because it's for dragons, and I can't really see it getting hit anytime soon. But yeah, it's a waste of Aegis. Like I said, during the end phase, just lets you special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from the deck. So any Blue Eyes, like, doesn't have to be Western Dragon, any Blue Eyes monster. And pretty much you would just get your free search for your polymerization and your chaos match straight from the deck off of your Blue Eyes Abyss, and it helps get your Dragon Master Magia combo set up. So next I run one of the was it Omni Dragon, and one of the Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Literally, sometimes you could just, like, if you wanted to, you could send. So say if you already did, like, your passing turn, you already set up your combo for Dragon Master Magia with the Wisdom Ancients and your Blue Eyes Abyss, right? And then you have another Dragon Shrine. You can send Blue Eyes with Dragon and this guy to the graveyard, because whenever a monster is destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect, basically you can special summon this from the graveyard, and then you can target 1 monster on the field, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand with the same type and attribute as the one you target. So you can target himself, and it lets you add, your Red Eyes Darkness Metal right from your deck to your hand. And then, of course, during your turn, like, if your opponent doesn't have anything else, during your turn you can just banish him off, bring out your metal, and start reborning your dragons from your graveyard as needed. Alright, next up I do run last monster of the deck, actually. I don't run a lot of monsters. I think it's like maybe like under 20, maybe like 17 or 18 monsters, maybe even 15. No, it's actually probably closer to 20, maybe a little bit above 20. But yeah, so I do run Doctor of D, one of the best cards in the deck that helps get dead Blue Eyes White Dragons out of your hand. You can literally discard any card that has Blue Eyes either in its name or in its text, and it lets you special summon Blue Eyes like from your graveyard. And then initially you could send 1 Blue Eyes monster or Blue Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you can special summon him directly from your hand. So usually a lot of times in this deck you really don't normal summon. The only time you normal summon is with Maiden Eyes of Blue. That's pretty much it for the most part. Like I said, so you can dump a Blue Eyes in your graveyard, and then discard another card. Like, it could be a dead card, like a Blue Eyes alternative. If you don't have Blue Eyes in your hand, you can just dump him out of your hand and actually reborn Blue Eyes with Dragon from your graveyard. Alright, so going to the spell lineup, First up is the Mausoleum of White. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, uh, I do have a fill spell that lets you pretty much utilize your Maiden with Eyes of Blue a little more sufficiently. So with her, you could just activate this. It lets you get additional normal summon. Uh, you can normal summon one level 1 light tuner monster from your hand, in addition to your normal summoner set. And you could actually target this, and then you can send one normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and then this card gains that monster's attack. Basically, you gain attack equal to the gain attack and defense equal to that monster's level times, I think was it times 1. So if you send Bloodhood Dragon to the graveyard, should be 800 attack, but that's besides the point, because when she's targeted by a card effect, it allows you to special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck or hand or directly to your field. So you can kind of get your Blue Eyes out of your out of your deck a little bit, try to basically skim down the deck a little bit, so you can get into the common pieces that you want to see. But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I run it at least at 2. If 3 is too bricky, you don't want to see it more than you need it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. And then of course, it's always discards in your graveyard. And once you get that blast, if it like saves you, send this to graveyard to activate your second one. You can actually banish this from your graveyard, add one blast stream of destruction from your deck to your hand. But in this build, I don't run blast stream, but it's not like that's not like my main combo that I'm going for. But if you guys want to see like a build with that in there, then I definitely will do that in the future. All right. So next up is the yes, Bingo Machine Go, right? Pretty much standard for your for your Blue Eyes builds for the most part. Anything that has Blue Eyes in its text, you could basically either search out 3 of the same copy. Your opponent picks one, guarantees you that copy, or you could do 3 different ones with different names. Your opponent picks one at random, and you add it to your hand. Other 2 can shuffle back into the deck. That's pretty much it helps you. If you don't have your certain spells like your Ultimate Fusion, this helps you get your Ultimate Fusion right to your hand without delay. Next up, I do run the 3 Dragon Shrine. Like I was saying before, you can mill your Flameveil Guard and then your Wasteland Agents if you want to. And the reason why I'm even talking about milling that is because you can go into, when you synchro into your Azure Eyed Silver Dragon, every standby phase you can bring back a normal dragon type monster, and since he's normal, you can bring him back to your field. And if you have another level 8 on the field, you could go into more synchro plays. So, which is kind of pretty cool. And of course, this helps you get into, like I said before, your the Voice of Ancient, your Voice of Ancient combo, where end phase, you special summon out your Blue Eyes Abyss, get your Polymerization, get Chaos Max, all during the end phase. Alright, so next up, a little bit more of deck thinning, and it helps you get, if you draw into this, it helps you get your Chaos Max still, and it helps you get into other level 8s into your pretty much from your deck to your hand. This is pretty much really useful if you want to go into your alternative. Helps you search regular Blue Eyes and alternative at the same time with your hand, and then all you gotta do is reveal, plop alternative, and then use the effect if you want to, or go for an attack, whatever the situation calls for. But this also helps get dead stuff out of your hand as well. If you need to discard like something like you just can't use or is no longer usable, you can discard it off of this to search out to 2 level 8 with a 3,000 or more attack. Bring your deck to your hand. Alright, next up, a little bit more deck thinning. I know, trade in. Sometimes you don't. You run a level 8. You don't want a brick. So at least this will help you, dig into your deck a little bit more. Triple trade in. Self-explanatory. Discard a level 8. Draw 2. Alright, next up we're going into the main spell cards you're going to be using for the Dragon Master Magia summoning. You get into your Dragon Master Magia. First up is the Fusion Armament. Literally all you do with this card is you activate it, reveal a fusion monster from the extra deck, which would be him, your Dragon Master Magia. You reveal him, and then pretty much you special summon from the extra deck a monster that's listed, in for the materials that are needed for the fusion. And of course, since you guys can't really tell because this is in Japanese, of course you can look it up for yourself. Blue Eyes Ultimate is listed on there, so you could just freely just bring out your Ultimate Dragon off of that. The only downside with that is once you bring out Ultimate Dragon is the same turn that it's special summoned, it cannot attack, which is fine because usually for the most part when you go into this, it's not going to be there for long. And the reason behind that is because once you bring him out, usually you already have your Ultimate Fusion in your hand. Put that up here just a little bit. Either your Ultimate Fusion in your hand or your Polymerization in your hand. One of these two. And if you guys are unfamiliar with, I'll just do it like this. Yeah, you have your either Blue Eyes Ultimate or not Blue Eyes Ultimate. I'm sorry, your Ultimate Fusion or your Polymerization in your hand. These are the one or two that you're going to be using. It'd be more ideal if you have both in the hand, because in a way you can technically go for 2 of them. But the only downside with that is it has an Omni negate. Basically, you could negate up to 3 times. 1 spell, 1 trap, and 1 monster effect. But each one of those effects can only be activated once and once per copy. So if you're just looking for like an extra 5,000 beater, then go ahead. But usually a lot of times, what I like to do is I like to summon Master Magia off of the Polymerization, and then use this to kind of, because when you fusion with this, you send them back to the deck. And I usually like to bring out the Tyrant Dragon because he's unaffected by traps, and then he can also attack all monsters your opponent controls, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I'm gonna have to like maybe speed it up a little bit here, guys. Hopefully I don't miss anything. I do run also 2 Dragon's Mirror. I did check the ban list right before putting these in. It is at 3, so why not run at least 2? 2 is a good spot to have them. I don't have 5 head, unfortunately. I kind of wish I did, but this will help you get into other fusion plays that you want to get into late game. It even can help you get into Master Magia if need be, if it comes down to it. If your opponent stops you from getting into it initially, you at least still have them in the graveyard. If your opponent doesn't banish them, that is, before you do, and you can at least get your Magia off of this as well. Alright, so next up is your Monster Reborn of the deck. Return of the Dragon Lords is not only a Monster Reborn of the deck, it's also a protection for your dragons. When this card's in your graveyard, if a dragon monster or dragon monsters will be destroyed by a card effect or by battle, you can actually banish this out of play instead, and your monsters would stay on the field. So if some people do is they'll use this, they'll reborn like a monster, and then they'll Dark Hole, and then just banish this to protect their monsters. it's a good way to get around cards that they're pretty much a pain in the ass. So the last one of the deck is of course Super Poly for those mirror matches if they ever come up. Like I said, Dark Hole with the return of the Dragon Lords combo there. You protect your monsters, and of course for pesky back row, the one Harpy's Feather Duster. Nothing else to really say about that. Alright, now getting into the extra deck here. Is going to be, like I said, two Master Magia. Sorry, that is the Japanese version. I seen that was like $14 online, and I was like, oh, cool. And I didn't read that it was in Japanese, but I just have it just to have it, because I wanted it. But hopefully that price comes down soon, man. That price is way too high. But yeah, you get triple negates off of this for one for each, one monster, one spell, one trap. But it's only one per copy. Like you can only use each of those effects once per copy, and nothing really else to say about this. It's just like a little bit. It's like a fun card, and it's new, it's fresh. All right, next up, of course, was Ultimate 2. No need to explain further. I will also run 2 of the Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. I really do love this card because it cannot be destroyed by battle, and it can attack twice. And on top of that, you do not need Super Poly or Polymerization cards to summon this. You can just send 2 whatever 2 Blue Eyes monsters that you have to the graveyard, and literally plop this guy on the field and feel like a boss while doing it. Oh, and also, when the battle's done, let's say you attack a monster and the monster is not destroyed, basically, at the end of the battle step, you would just banish that monster. So that's actually kind of cool. No, speeding along. All right, so yep, Tyrant, Dragon, Blue Eyes Tyrant. Literally, you just need 1 Blue Eyes, White Dragon, and 1 Dragon Monster, which is pretty badass. You can bring him out off of the Ultimate Fusion. I usually like to do it that way, especially like if it's like during like the battle phase. If my opponent tries to get rid of like one of my like for example, Blood's alternative. I'm gonna save an attack with alternative, and my opponent's like, all right, well he's gonna do something where it's like, all right, Mirror Force, right? I'll just quick play Ultimate Fusion, send Blue Eyes back to the deck. We'll send alternative because he's treated as Blue Eyes, and then another Dragon. Usually I try to get Blue Eyes Ultimate back to my deck if I use Polymerization to summon him, summon the Magia. And then when this hits the field, it's just unaffected by trap, so they're just not even going to really care at that point. Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome card, 34. I do love this rarity too. Alright, so it's not a dragon, but it helps with Super Poly. Last fusion of the deck. Predator Plant. I'm not gonna say that other name, but it's not the other part. It's a Predator Plant, and you just every so time put a token on a. It's a quick effect. You target one face of monster. Your opponent controls. Place a predator token on it, and then of course, whichever ones have the tokens on them, they become level 1. I'm sorry, did they become level 1? Yep, they become level 1. And the effect's negated as well. So. Alright, so synchros of the deck. Sorry, just kind of ran it on a little bit. Took me a little bit to get here. Jeez. Of course, I don't have an editor yet, so anybody wants to be an editor for me, please let me know. comment section below, please. So 2 of the Blue Eye Spirit, pretty much he negates effects activate in the graveyard, and then you can tribute him, float down into your Azure Eyes. 3 Azure. Why not? More than that 3. Had multiple level 8s in here. That I can run. Well, you notice it says normal monster, but I do have the other 1-star tuner I can just bring back, from the graveyard. And of course, the last monster of the deck is just 1 Exceed monster, which is Gaga Cowboy. If it ever comes into, so for some reason, it happened to me a couple times. If for whatever reason I have multiple of him on the field, my Dr. D, multiple of him. I usually, if I need be, I just overlay into them, get him out, and of course, I usually do the 800 burn, just to get it out of the way. But yeah, it hasn't really won me any games, but it's just good for for little tech stuff. Little stuff where it's like, oh yeah, that is possible to do. That's why I just run the 1. But yep, if you guys did enjoy the deck profile, please let me know if there's any changes that I should make to the deck in the comment section below. If you say, hey, look, you're missing this, or you might want to run this, please let me know in the comment section below, guys. I am open to critiques. I'm not the type of person who gets mad where you say, oh, well, why aren't you running this? I just probably just didn't know, or I just didn't remember, or it didn't dawn on me to run that particular card. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I'm going to be signing off here for now. Hopefully you guys made it to the end. If you did make it to the end, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and tap that notification bell from here. Alright, guys? As always, be sure to tell your family that you love them. Stay casual, and I'll catch you guys next time.